Okay, it's a little cold out here. Um, I was just thinking about all of our lungs and how, God forbid, fluid might fill some of them. And I wanted all of us to have a little bit better breathing capacity and oxygenation just in case. Um, so, some quick tips on breathing. First of all, sitting tall, relaxing the spine long. In fact, relaxing all this stuff is going to be really helpful. Let's not try to force it. We're just going to relax it. So, sitting tall, right? It's going to give you a little more space between the vertebrae, a little more space between the ribs, and it's going to naturally draw a deeper breath into the body just by relaxing it in, right? So, relax tall. Right, hips down, head up. And see if your body naturally starts breathing a little deeper just by relaxing the spine longer, right? You may find that you have a little bit of a relaxation response and the breath starts coming a little freer, a little fuller automatically without certainly without trying, but without even thinking about it, just by relaxing the spine long. Okay. Second thing, we want to get the airways open a little more. So try tucking your chin toward your chest a bit, relaxing the back of your neck long, softening your nostrils, and see if you can feel into the backs of your sinuses, the back of your throat. So you can feel that relaxing opening, spreading even, right? The back of the throat relaxing, spreading. And you may feel a deeper, fuller breath coming in that way. Okay? Now the breathing diaphragm, right, moves up and down as you breathe. But typically, we do fairly shallow breathing in our culture, and the diaphragm doesn't move that much. So to get it moving a little more, try a little belly breathing. Now, obviously, the breath doesn't actually go into your belly. There's no lungs in your belly, okay? But when the diaphragm moves down, it's going to compress and spread and distend your belly organs. And when those organs spread, they're going to sort of flash the nerves on the surface membranes. It's called stretch receptors on the surface membranes of your organs. And it's going to feel sensational in your belly. Okay? So the more you can let your belly relax outward as you breathe inward, right? And then relax inward as you breathe out, the more you're going to allow the breathing diaphragm to actually move up and down. And what the whole point of this stuff is we're trying to sort of relax, shift, move around any little adhesions in the lung tissue and any habitual breathing patterns that we're stuck in so that we can get breath to more corners of the lungs, essentially. Okay? So, belly breathing, relaxing the belly out, relaxing it in as you breathe. So, we got spine long, we got soft, round, open airways, we got belly breathing. Now let's try back body breathing, right? Your upper back, the back lobes of your lungs they're huge. There's a lot of unused real estate. Typically we don't breathe into our back body, but that's where most of the lung volume actually is. So try this. Try rounding the upper back, softening the upper back, letting the breath go into the upper back, almost like it's a second belly. We want it that soft, that round, that relaxed. In fact, you can even try this in child's pose, okay? So maybe kneeling, sitting on your heels. In fact, let's do this sideways. You're gonna let your toes reach backward, okay? Let your knees lift forward, let your hips draw backward, let your ribs lift forward, let your chin tuck, let your forehead rest on a block or a pillow or something, arms back behind you, and relax the breath deep into your back body. Let your upper back round, soften. some of this stuff's going to feel unfamiliar at first, right? And that's good. That's what we want. We want that unfamiliar feeling of like unused corners of your lungs expanding, stretching, right? Getting the kinks out. We get these little micro adhesions in all the connective tissue in the body, including the lungs. And when you let stuff move around, when you do stuff in unfamiliar ways, it's going to break those little micro adhesions. And you kind of want to do it daily because the adhesions grow overnight when you're kind of still sleeping. This happens in all your muscular groups, including around the lungs. So what we're looking for is that kinked up, crusty feeling. And we're using the relaxation, we're using the breath to soften and open and unkink those little stuck spots, okay? What else can we do? Okay, so also a little gentle twisting, breathing. This is not about a pose, right? This is about breathing. So if you gently twist, turn around the spine, turn the ribs to the right a little bit. And by the way, you can do all this stuff at the same time, right? You got the relaxed, long spine. You got the deep, wide airways. You got the rounded upper back. You got the breathing diaphragm moving the belly breath. And of course, same thing on the other side. You're not looking for a deep twist, just a slight, gentle twist. You want to kind of feel like each vertebra is a tiny little bit twisting in relationship to the next one. And again, we got the same tall spine, deep back of the throat, diaphragm movement, right? Breathing upper back. And think wide, by the way. Wide chest, wide upper back, wide collarbones, wide rib cage. Okay, also we can do side to side stuff. So maybe take an arm overhead, and instead of, the typical thing is to tilt your head and kind of fool yourself into thinking you're actually tilting over, but arm pretty close, head pretty close to the upper arm, and we're going to lift, arch a little, and breathe into the side ribs. And again, this is not an extreme pose, right? This is just a little baby pose. And what we're looking for is breath into the side ribs. The intercostal muscles need to soften up and spread. And again, the same principles apply. Height, depth, width, right? Relaxation. Let's try the other side. And again, we're trying to breathe here. Okay. Another thing we can do is slow down the breathing. Right? You can listen to the sound of your own breath and see what its natural pace is. And then see if it feels okay, see if it feels comfortable to relax that pace a little slower. If you normally have like a 2-count breath, try going to a 3 or 4-count breath. And if it's normally 4, go to 6 or 8 or even 12. But let the breath come in for a number of counts. Nice and long and slow, and again, you're relaxing this, right? And let it go out for the same counts. Nice, long, slow, relaxing. Another way to increase breath depth and extent is to take some extra sips of breath. So you let the breath come all the way in, and then you add a few little sips on top. So at the end of the exhale, you give a few little extra pushes, maybe softening the belly inward a bit. Last thing I'll say for today is you can inhale to the point that you actually feel the lung tissues stretch, right? It's a physical sensation. So you let the breath come in, and just let it keep coming in. Until you actually feel the lung tissues expand, spread, and you feel physical stretching. And then on the way out, you keep going out until you feel that little squeeze in the pit of the belly, that little emptying and lengthening of the spine. So you got fuller, deeper breath coming in, all the way to the point of physical stretching sensation, and long, extensive exhale until you feel the body really empty. Okay, that's it for today. I'm going to keep it quick. Try these things, see if it works, see if it helps. See if you encounter any of those little weird kinky spots. See if you can loosen them up just by breathing, just by relaxing the breath a little deeper, a little fuller. Let me know. I'm curious to see if this is effective in any way. This is my first, by the way, I think, on the beach meatball yoga video. Okay, thanks, bye.